First, what we're going to be talking about is how COVID-19 has impacted us and the different relief measures that the government has implemented to help us with these tough times. So just a quick disclaimer to start off our presentation. Information that we'll be talking about in this presentation are compiled from sources we believe to be reliable, and it's for information purposes. So it's not intended to provide you any specific individual investment, tax, accounting, or legal advice. So if you have any of those questions, direct those to your respective advisors in those areas. What we'll be talking about first is the different government benefits that the government has implemented to help us with COVID-19. So if you're receiving the Canada Child Benefit already, you're gonna be receiving up to $300 extra per child for 2019 to 2020. And then there's no need to apply, and it's just gonna be an automatic application for this. And then if you're receiving the special goods and services tax credit payment, you're also going to be getting an additional amount, which you'll receive automatically, and you don't need to apply or anything. And if you do need mortgage support, you want to contact your individual financial institution to determine if you can either defer your mortgage payments for like up to 6 months. But then this isn't like a free mortgage payments. It's just deferring it up to 6 months that you'll have to pay later in 6 months. So the next, we're going to be talking about the most popular one, the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. So it's a taxable benefit up to $2,000 per month, up to 4 months. So you can get up to $8,000 in 4 months. And there are different eligibilities, and we'll be going through that a little later. And what's important to know is that you want to be registered with CRA's My Account. So if you haven't done so already, please go to CRA, just Google CRA login, and then sign up for My Account, as it's really beneficial. As you can see all your tax returns, all your tax slips, and also if you have a My Account, you can apply for CERB automatically, and then you can get your money within like 2 to 3 business days. So it's super fast. It's super good to know your taxes in the past and for the future, and it's pretty much just it's the only type of contact where you can check online the communication between you and the CRA. And then for filing 2019 tax returns, they have extended the deadline to June 1st of 2020, as opposed to the usually April deadline. And then balance and installments deferred till August 31st without any penalties or interest. And also for people who are in the more retirement side of things, and if they have a RIF, they've decreased the minimum withdrawals because it's very volatile at times. So they've reduced the minimum withdrawal by 25%. And you would have to contact your financial advisor, financial institution to do this. So there's an example about this. So if you've already taken from your RIF account, there's no currently there's no option to recontribute. So you actually can't. Once you've taken out of your RIF, you can't put it back in. So if you haven't taken out the minimum yet for this year, you can take out less than you usually would have for your RIF. That's this is just a quick example. So if you had a $100,000 RIF and you took out your minimum was 5.82%, and you take out 5,820, you only need to take out 4,370 after this new 25% reduction. So we're going to be talking about the CERB now and what it is. So it provides like $500 a week. So it's in $2,000 month by month. It's about month by month periods to get $2,000 at the start of it. And to be eligible, you need to be residing in Canada. You have to have stopped working because of reasons related to COVID-19, or you're eligible for EI. And you must have had employment income or self-employment income of at least $5,000 in 2019 or 12 months prior to the date of application. And you also have to not have quit your job voluntarily due to COVID-19. So then a lot of issues came up when they first released this program, as the first period was, I think, mid-March to like early April. And a lot of people were still working during this time. So then they actually made it easier for you. So in your first claim, you could get that full $2,000 amount, even if you had $1,000 of income in that first month. And then in subsequent claims, after those, the first claim that you make, you can't earn more than $1,000 for each 4-week period. So every month you can't make more than $1,000, or else you won't be eligible for the CERB $2,000 benefit. So then this slide is more for the employer side. So if you own your own business, there's something called the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy. So then it covers up to 75% of employees' wage if you have employees, up to $847. And this is just more like a subsidy. So if you don't own a corporation or anything, you don't have to worry about this too much. But if you do, you can actually pay your employee's salary, and then you can get up to 75% of that back, up to $847 per week. And then there's also different other eligibilities for this, such as, your March revenues of this year have to be less than March revenues of the year before by at least 15%. And they've made a few more additional rules. And if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end of the presentation in terms of this, because it gets a little complicated for new businesses as well, because a lot of new business owners were challenging this and saying, oh, what if we just incorporated like in August of last year and we don't have last year's March revenue to compare. So they've made additional measures to help combat that. And then this kind of superseded the temporary 10% wage subsidy. So that is kind of not as good as the 75%. So we won't really go too much into that. But what is really good for small business owners is that the new Canada Emergency Business Account. So it's actually available now. And also the Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy, it should be available on my business account through the CRA portal. So once again, if you don't have the my individual account or my business account, you should get that right away, as it's the direct connection between you and the CRA. So the Canada's Emergency Business Account, pretty much you get a $40,000 free loan from the government, and then you don't need to pay all of it back either. So but first off, let's talk about how to qualify for it. So to qualify, you need to have paid between $20,000 and 1.5 million in total payroll in 2019. So I think there's also different eligibilities for newer companies. This might have incorporated this year, but for more information, we can talk about that at the end. But pretty much, it's an interest-free loan, and if you pay back before 2022, you get 25% granted back to you. So you only need to pay back $30,000 if you pay before 2022. So it's pretty much free $40,000, so you can help run your regular business expenses. Plus $10,000 is forgiven if you pay back within the next 2 years by the end of 2022. That's it for this COVID-19 relief measures that the government has implemented.